Silver I am, and sometimes green. I dance with the stars, spinning in space. A quote from Ellen Waff, my mother. A grand old beech tree stands tall on a steep slope in the middle of a mature forest. After years of slow growth, and now with its branches seeming to touch the sky in the leafy canopy overhead. Triangle-shaped beech nuts are released from soft-shelled husks called cupules. The fruits are eaten by a wide variety of wildlife. Those that don't get eaten may germinate as a new baby beech tree. Many animals eat beech nuts, including mammals, birds, and insects. Beech nuts are a rich source of protein and fat. They are also important for wildlife because they provide nesting sites and are home to many insects. After falling to the ground, a beech nut germinates and starts to grow. It will take it around 30 to 40 years to reach the forest canopy. Beech tree leaves are identified by their glossy dark green color. The leaves are oval in shape and have finely toothed margins. Young beech leaves look lime green and have fine hairs on the edges. In autumn, beech tree leaves transition from the green of summer to a striking array of golden bronze colors. Beech trees set their narrow buds in winter, which swell and grow longer before germinating in the spring. Beech trees have marcescent leaves that remain attached to the branches through winter, providing unique visual appeal, an interesting leaf rattling sound in the forest, and many ecological benefits. Marcescence is when leaves remain on a tree after they have died and withered. This phenomenon is most common in younger beech trees and on the lower branches of older trees. The leaves turn a tan color and cling to the branches through winter and into spring. Now, let's head out into the forest in search of marcescent beech leaves and learn about how these native trees benefit from this phenomenon. She's shaking because she doesn't know what my intentions are. Are you looking at me? I'm looking at you, beautiful beech. Here we go, marcescing among the leaves so brown or dead and on the ground. Happy winter time! This is Rebecca on a very snowy but sunny day. Great sunshine right there. I am in search of trees that do marcescence. Say that 10 times fast. Marcescence, 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 marcescence. I'm not going to do it. Anyway, I am searching for trees that hold on to their leaves in the wintertime longer than you would think they would. They're deciduous trees, trees that usually drop their leaves, and yet we see a lot of their leaves still, even in January. So let's go see what kind of trees we can find that have this principle called marcescence. So we'll look around and see what I can share with you. In search of beech trees. So in the wintertime, it's pretty easy to find them or other trees that still hold their leaves like this. So this is a beech tree right here. And it's the middle of winter. Most of the trees have dropped their leaves, but this one still has them. This is a term called marcescence. Say that 10 times fast. Marcescence. Anyway. So they're hanging onto their leaves. There's a process called abscission, where in the fall, most trees stop sending sap to their old leaves. These are mainly deciduous trees. And when they do that, then there's a layer of cells that starts to form that allows the breaking off of these leaves But sometimes if a frost comes early, or maybe something's happened to the tree, there was an injury, then there's no time for the abscission to happen, and they may hang on to their leaves. But trees like this beech tree, also are thought to hang on to their leaves to protect their new buds. Helps keep them from drying out a little bit, especially in the early part of the fall, and might also insulate them a little bit in the cold weather. There's also a thought that the leaves will drop to the ground and could be a layer of mulch with the rotting leaves at a time of the year when there's not a lot of other nutrition, not a lot of minerals and things like that. So, big car going by. Thought I would share that and appreciate the fact that these beech trees are here and beautifying our world. They're interesting too because the fact that they hold on to their leaves like this means that they make a distinct sound when the wind blows through the forest. So they have a very distinct voice, I like to say, in the winter. So marcescence helps us to really be able to pick out these trees also from those around them. Beech trees, young oaks, hornbeam, those are all trees that will hold on to their leaves longer than some others. There's also a thought that by holding on to them longer, they're able to do a little more photosynthesis, especially for these younger trees that are in the understory. So therefore they can take advantage after the big trees above them have already dropped their leaves of getting a little bit more sunlight in late autumn. So that's potentially a helpful thing for them as well. Let's find some other beech. Where will we find the beech trees? I'm looking for leaves still on the trees, although for the older trees, that won't be the case. They'll have lost most of their leaves already. I think I'm seeing some. Let me show you. Lots of leaves on the ground. But yet, look. Here's this gorgeous little young adult beech tree. Lots of leaves. Waiting for spring. So pretty. Love the copper color. And in the autumn, it's just glorious, from bright yellows all into these gorgeous copper colors, and their silver purple colored trunks. Really pretty. Walking through the woods, it's easy to pick out the trees that demonstrate this principle of marcescence, or marcescence. I don't know how you say the word. Anyway, here's a beech tree. Beech tree have very thin bark. I'll show you an example of an older one soon. But they are very sensitive to heat, and so they like to grow, especially on north-facing slopes. But, like we can see here, this young tree is still holding on to a bunch of its leaves. You might be able to hear it. There's not much of a wind today. Let's listen. Well, I had to make a rattle sound. Can you spot the beech? The sunlight helps. Lots of them up here. There's one. Beech tree, probably, I don't know, 30 years old, I'm guessing. They grow really slow. Everything else likes to race up before them. The pines, the tulips, eventually the oaks, the hickories. So now I'm approaching a grand old beech tree. And they are the climax species in our eastern deciduous mixed hardwood forests. Gorgeous. They take a long time to grow, but boy, do they make a presence here in the forests. Really beautiful. Great place to live. This is a hornbeam tree, also known as ironwood or musclewood. Note the super solid muscle-like bark it has. This particular tree doesn't really have any leaves left on it, but hornbeam musclewood is another one of the ones that sometimes will hold on to their leaves. I'll see if I can find another example. Aha! Here is a hornbeam tree that still is holding on to leaves. Much smaller than the beech. Marcescence. Marcescence. Marcessing? Marcesses. Marcescing? Marcescent? Marcescence. Good stuff. Go to the winter woods. Listen there. Look, watch, and the dead months will give you a subtler secret than any you have yet found in the forest. A quote by William Sharp.